Hi, I'm Jerry Kelvin, and my channel is all about photographing and filming wildlife. Now, what have I got in store for you today? Let's take a look. Well, good morning. Back out in the office again today, in the middle of September. Lots of birds nesting and plenty of action going on, and it's time to talk about bushcraft. What I use to make platforms and using the natural environment with hides, as well as making hides as well. Now, I'm making this nice little platform here, utilising all the materials that are on the ground. Don't want to disturb the environment and wreck the environment by breaking branches off trees that are living. I like to utilise everything that's fallen to the ground so that we're looking after the environment and not disturbing it. So I just utilise the broken branches that are on the ground, as well as using bark as rope. Now, the reason I'm in this particular spot is I've got a yellow robin nesting just up there, so we're about there. So she's gotten used to me being here. I've slowly worked her up. I've been making this frame here using this tree that's fallen down. It's got this big branch off the ground. So I've just been coming, doing a little bit at a time, just standing here for a few minutes, just watch her and then move on. Now, she's quite comfortable with me being here. I'm about 5 metres, 7 metres away from her, something like that. So I can get on with this morning. She's just happy, not worried too much about me being here. Well, let's get on with this. Now, what have I done so far is, now this branch that's off the ground, I've stabilised it with this. Nice little post with a V in it, so it stops this branch from dropping down when I get on top of it. Makes it structurally sound. And I've put a bit of a frame going across to this tree here, utilising this branch here. Jammed that one in so it's nice and tight, solid. And instead of just tying it to the tree, that wouldn't be sort of stable enough, I've put another post underneath with a V in it to hold that up. But I'll tie it up with this sort of stuff. Now, this bark's beautiful to use. I could use this grass stuff, this climbing grass. That's really good, but I'm still disturbing the environment. I don't want to do that. That grows over all the shrubs around here and creates a natural hide, so you can utilise that as well. But birds love to nest in that sort of environment as well because they're well hidden. They can get in and out easy, but the nest's hidden, especially from predators above. So anyway, we'll get into this. I'll do a little bit and then we'll move on so I don't hassle it too much. Talk a bit more about the bark. It looks like a nice soft stuff that bends and not stiff. A little bit damp. It gives us a bit of flexibility. Now, you will get breakages every now and then. But what the idea is that we go around like that and then come back around the other way. So we're doing a V shape over our branches. And that really locks things in, makes it nice and stable and safe, so you don't fall off and break your leg or your neck. Mum's looking at me. What is he doing? But anyway, yeah, so might get the odd breakage here and there. So I always just start off with tying just around once. Go around, bring it up through there. That gives me a good start. Make sure that it's nice and tight. Leave that one up like that. Then I'll come around this way and that down. Now, this isn't going to be long enough to do another run, So we'll just tie that off now. You can see it's very flexible, but you just still got to watch that. Don't be too forceful when it snaps like that. But anyway, you get the gist. Just got to get some more of that bark. Really get that tight. See, it's just a little loose there. You really get tight so there's no movement at all. Movement in it at all. So we don't get camera shake. And I'm confident when I'm standing here that it's not going to stuff up on me. Oh, still got a bit of wobble in it. Got to find another post, put underneath just up here, so stop this bit of shake. Otherwise I'm going to get camera shake trying to film them. Now it took me half an hour or so just wandering around close by, getting all these bits of timber to use as a platform. Now it's good if you can have a little bit of a V, another little branch coming off to lock them into my other beam going across. Stops any movement, things like that. I haven't actually tied them down, I've just jammed them all in, rammed them in with that little extra branch on the bottom to lock them in. So it's fairly solid. Put this extra little beam across here, tied that in, down nice and solid with me bark. Ooh, Mum. Dad's come in to feed Mum. That's the thing about yellow robins, that the male comes in and feeds the female while she's sitting on the eggs, keep them warm and safe. Now, yeah, so I've got this bar here, just helps lock things down a little bit, but also it's good for the tripod. Tripod's got 2 spikes on each of the legs, so they'll just lock in onto that, and I can use this one for the back one, locking on the rail that's running across there, so it'll be secure. But yeah, you just need to get this wobble out so that it's safe for me as well, so I can be a bit more confident. It's not going to break on me, and it's more stable so I don't get camera shake. Now, if you're not the handyman type and you don't know a lot about structural things, building structural things like this, be careful or don't do it at all. So don't skimp over things, really make sure that things are really solid. Make sure you're getting nice thick pieces of wood that when you put your foot on it, lift it up with your hand, that they don't snap. Usually take a bit of force to break some of these, so to shorten them a bit. So what I do is shove it underneath the log that's fallen down on the ground, a big one, and just lever it up, being careful not to hurt my back or my arms. It's not going to break, just leave it. So there you go, that's just a platform. Yeah, just get this little bit of a wobble out of it. It's nice and safe. This will be fantastic, just looking straight down into the nest. As long as my little carnivorous marsupial that I like to film doesn't come and eat the chicks, which is highly likely here because I've done some filming in this particular spot. That's how I found the nest. I've been filming a female, and she's just been running along the logs and stuff here, so this is one of her, part of her territory where she's looking for something to eat, like chicks in nests. Anyway, got some other places that I need to do something about, and they're very close by, so we'll go and check them out and see what my situation is over there. Well, I just tried out my platform and it works really well. I waited for the male yellow robin to come back, feed the female, and that happened. Got it on camera. Camera didn't shake, it was fantastic. Mother stands up, looks down, starts feeding the chicks, so it's all happening over there for me, and I just got that platform done in time. Now just up here in this tree, shrubby looking thing, is the ground thrush's nest. Very secretive sort of animal. You'll see them around the place in open areas where it's wet, getting worms, but otherwise they're very hard to see. There's fantastic camouflage colours they have on them. So This pair have been coming to this particular tree for years and years, as long as I can remember. Last year they had a big disaster. Chicks were taken by something. Could be an owl or could even be the antechinus. But this time they've got a lot of rubbish over the top of the nest, so it's well hidden this time. Last year it was very open. You could see in. I was on the other side of the bank there, filming in. I only had a little bit of a platform, so I could see down in the nest a bit better. But things have changed. It's got a lot of rubbish on the other side there, so I can't go over the creek this time. I've got to make do with a little bit of a rise back here. So we'll go over there and have a look what I'm going to do to be able to see into the nest and get some great photographs of them. Father coming in, feeding the mother. They do the same thing. He'll bring in worms for her, look after her while she's keeping those eggs warm. And then when they come to feed the chicks, I can see if I can get some great images with the film camera, as well as take a good action shot with me stills camera. Right, let's move over here. Well, this is a nice little spot for me. Spiders on my nose. I'm pretty well much at the same height as the nest. Ground just rises up a bit here. Got two big ferns, so they're covering me at the top, so if the ground thrush lands up there on the branches as it's coming in to feed the chicks or whatever, they can't really see me properly. Got a nice wall of rubbish here too, so I'm blanked out on that side, and that's where they're going to come from. That's where they go and get all their worms and bits and pieces like that from over that side of the creek. So they'll be flying in that way. Now, I could make a platform here. It's not really set up for it like the other one. Everything was there, a log quite close and a tree close as well, but I haven't got anything here. These ferns aren't really good enough for that sort of stuff. So it's a major construction. I've got to find lots of materials to make a really solid standalone sort of thing, and I'm not going to do that. It's going to take hours and mucking around, and I'm 10 metres away from my subject anyway, so them guys aren't too bad at that distance. Every animal, every bird have a zone that they don't like you to go into. So some will let you come up fairly close, others won't. These guys I don't think would tolerate me being much closer than probably 7 metres, and they won't come in, or Mum will be on the nest and she'll just fly off and won't come back in. So for me, I'm thinking that I might just utilise this hill. I can film in nicely, and if I want to get up higher so I can see into the nest a bit better, see the chicks a bit better, I'm going to utilise this branch here. I've got a little setup with a tripod head on a bit of a frame that I use to go onto trees, onto branches and whatever, just put on the trunk of a tree. I think I'll do that, which means I'm going to have to bring my ladder in and take it back home again. This is going to be a pain in the bum. If I leave it here, someone will find it and it'll get knocked off, because it's already happened once. Thought I had it nicely hidden. Nah, disappeared. So that will be my other option there, just to a little bit closer, a little bit higher to film in when the chicks are hatched, and it'll be good for me to take photographs as well, get some really good action shots. Now across the creek there is another bird, grey thrush, very shy, really hard to get footage of them actually building a nest. Once they've fed the chicks, they'll come in a bit more, because they're not dumb, them guys. They know you're there, and you need to be more than 10 metres away with them guys. Sometimes they're really flighty. I've been trying to film these ones building the nest. It's out in the open, quite easy to see, but they just wouldn't come in while I was there, and I think I was about 10 metres away, nicely hidden. Anyway, let's go over there and have a look. That sort of setup far over there. Now, just straying from one bushcraft to another bushcraft, and that's that word we don't like to talk about too much. Going to the toilet in an emergency in the forest. It's going to happen. I'm out here all the time, every day, after work or weekends, and occasionally it happens. You get the urge and you have to go no matter what. It's too far to walk home. So what do I use in an emergency situation? Well, when it's available, grass is my first choice. Yes, I love my comedy, but it's true. Grass is my first choice to go for. Get a handful double that size, and you're right, especially when there's a bit of dew on it, it does the trick really well. Bit of a wet ass, but it's clean. Now, you're not always going to be able to get grass in your emergency panic. You can get these sort of weedy stuff, make sure that they're not prickly. So give them a really good feel, see whether they're soft enough to do the job. Otherwise, you're just going to have to be very inventive and check out some of the other leaves that are on trees and whether they're soft enough to do the job. So that's emergency toilet control. As you can see, my face is not lit up very well, so I'm in a very dark little corner here, which is really good. These nice ferns covering me from above. Nothing can see me when they're up on these trees. It's very open out the back here though, across the side. But where my subject is, let me see now, it's in that stump, somewhere just in there. So into that stump, amongst the grass, the grey thrush is building its nest. Pretty well finished now. Like I said, haven't been able to film it at all. They just didn't like me being here. They just know it. They just know you're here. So what I'm going to have to do is, I might not worry about the back part here, but I've got to put a screen up. So utilise this little tree here, get a nice long branch, bring it across to these ferns, and tie it onto it, get it secure, and then I can start putting these old fern branches across. That one's not a good example, but there's plenty around to, it's just cleaning the fern up a bit anyway. So there's plenty of them on the ground here around the place, so that's what I can do. So I'll get myself a little bit more set up and we'll have a look at how I go about making a screen. So all I've done is found two straight bits of branches that I found lying on the ground that were long enough to go from the fern tree to this other little shrub here. Just enough height so that I can put my camera through, but also my stills camera with the flash on, so you need enough room to do that. But make a little window. All I'm doing with these old fern leaves is just simply hooking them on. So they hook onto there, I'll keep them down so I've still got my nice little height. I'll just keep building these up until it blanks out any of my movement, my feet movement or hand movement. So there's only that little window that'll be showing any movement when they fly on to coming into the nest. So hopefully we're all right there. I'm probably 15 metres away from them, so not the best for me with taking photographs. Only got the 300mm lens with the Canon 7D Mark II. It gives me a 500mm reach, so I'll get reasonable images, but it would be nice if I was up a bit closer, but I don't think they're going to let me. So go back here, just enjoy what I've got. But that's a quick, easy setup. It'll just rot away later on. In this particular spot here, you do get a lot of people coming to do a bit of fishing. So they'll probably see this and might wreck it. And it won't take me long to put it back up again either. And you can go a bit more extensive with these by putting another branch that way, another two leaning out so that it's on an angle out the front. That way, if there's not a lot of fern leaves around, you can grab more rubbish as well. So put a few of these on and then build it up with chucking rubbish on top of that as well. So that's what I mean, just a couple of sticks out and another one across, a couple of braces across so that your stuff can lay on it nicely. And I can just chuck a heap of rubbish on there, doesn't really matter what I use. Now that's also a good technique of making a shelter, keep you warm as well if you're lost in the forest, which I doubt whether I'd ever be, but I've got the skills to be able to do something like that. And if there's not a lot of bark around that you can use as rope, or it's just not working for you, in a survival technique you can use blade grass and cut it into about 3 different pieces. So you just, with your fingernails, just split them and it'll give you 3 really good bits of string, and they're much better than the bark actually. But we don't use that unless we're in a survival skill, because we don't want to be wrecking the environment. So there's a couple of ways to make a hide, a screen anyway. You can go a bit more extensive than that and put roofs and stuff over them as well, pretty easy. The platform, they're really good. I'll be getting a lot of use out of that one while the chicks are being fed over there. So that's enough for me carrying on. A little bit of bush skills for you. Now if you'd like to subscribe, just click down there and you'll click on the subscription button and you'll get notification whenever I do anything else, like camera reviews or whatever. There's also, if you want to have a look at all the things I've been doing over the years, just down there at the bottom of the screen, left hand corner, there's a little icon that'll take you to my channel. So go and have a look at all that stuff I've done over the years. That's enough for me carrying on. I'll see you later.